What's up, beautiful people? How y'all doing, man? Welcome to another episode of Dialogue with the Davises. My name is Cedric, and this is my beautiful, stunning, I'm talking about absolutely amazing. Like that color on your skin too, that look good. We're gonna talk in a little while. Yeah, this is my wife, V, Lashana. And we have once again been blessed with the opportunity to sit before you and share in a conversation that we pray leads to some type of growth, some type of maturity, and cause you to examine certain areas in your life where God may have been inspiring you to grow in some way, shape, or form, man. So, man, it's been a minute. No, we say that often, but like, it's really been a minute since we sat down and recorded a podcast. Been having a lot of moving pieces going on, some things that we were attending to, some stuff that God was inspiring us to pay attention to and kind of take care of. So we made sure we took advantage of those opportunities to do that. In the process, had a lot of things taking place in the background where I feel like it was kind of important and essential to, you know what I'm saying, the place that God is bringing us to and the things that God has inspired us to kind of like begin to work on. And all glory to God, we've begun to work on some of those things, and you know what I'm saying, we'll be making sure we kind of talk about that soon. But man, yeah, so it's been a minute, but you know what I'm saying, nonetheless, here we are back again with another episode, man. So before we get into today's topic, man, what's been going on with you? How you been doing? I mean, I know what's been going on.
Well, I mean, it's the new year.
Yeah, it's a new year, but it's 2025.
Yes, it is.
Lord have mercy.
It's 2025. We've
Yes.
done that, and we had, the coming back from the holidays and the children being off, and our breaks from school, and now my break is over.
Yeah, you back in your class. It started what, yesterday?
Yesterday.
Bet.
And all the stuff.
All the stuff. Say it's been good stuff though, man. You know what I'm saying? No complaints. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Few areas in which we needed to kind of, like I said, attend to and make sure, you know what I'm saying, we're taken care of. Like, I know for myself, school, these last 3 classes I took were kind of demanding. Forced me to do a lot of reading and, you know what I'm saying, a whole lot of writing, and I was also doing my internship. Wind up having the ability to do that at the church, you know what I'm saying. Thank God for Pastor Holiday, man, and you know what I'm saying, our key church family allowing me to take care of my internship and get that part of my degree stuff knocked out and squared away. But man, we were just in a place of just being intentional about our growth and our development and just the things that God had been inspiring us to do. Sat down and had a few conversations about some things that God had been telling us, or been inspiring us to do. And we were kind of doing the legwork behind the scenes, but we hadn't set any hard goals or hard dates or anything as of yet. So like, well, at that point in time, but now we've gotten to a place where we've had the ability to set some hard dates and set some goals and like really gain some traction on the things that, you know what I'm saying, we desire to do as inspired by God. Man, still in the middle of adjusting to this retirement. You know what I'm saying? You used to it by now?
Yes.
You are?
I am.
It didn't take you long at all, huh?
No.
For real? Hold on, my throat itching. Not at all?
No.
Man, say, look, so I'm in a space where, you know what I'm saying, I'm lightweight used to it, but there are times when I be like, man, what's next? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that not having a plan of, you know what I'm saying, an everyday kind of like thing is something that at times, you know what I'm saying, is a trip. I'm not complaining because, you know what I'm saying, I've definitely been enjoying our time together, man. We recently got back in the gym. We've been going to the gym, trying to get our bodies right, just to, you know what I'm saying, not to try to be
healthy.
fine or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm trying to be fine.
You trying to be fine?
Absolutely.
Man,
if I'm gonna go work out and sweat and be stink and all that, I'm gonna be fine.
Oh, you trying to be fine?
I'm not just going just to go.
Oh, see me, I'm just going in the gym to be healthy and make sure I get in some decent shape.
I'm gonna be healthy, but I'm gonna be healthy and fine.
That's what's up. I ain't gonna be mad about you being fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for real. I want to see you with your little gym stuff on, you know, doing your little thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I ain't mad with that. You know what I'm saying? Keep on. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. But we've had the opportunity to kind of get in the gym and also just take some days for ourselves to just sit down and relax. Away from the day-to-day operation of dealing with the kids and bringing them to school and you know what I'm saying, the day-to-day tempo of that piece. We've taken what day is it? Mondays.
Monday.
We've dedicated Mondays to just kind of sit down with one another and just be intentional and you know what I'm saying, intimate concerning the things that we're discussing and you know what I'm saying, things of that nature, just to make sure we are on the same sheet of music and you know what I'm saying, discussing what God has been leading us to doing. Man, that's kind of been it though, man. You know what I'm saying? Just got back from last week and I got back from a trip, went down, had the opportunity to spend some time with moms and pops, you know what I'm saying, and my brothers or whatever. So that was a blessing. And you know what I'm saying, now we back on it, man. So man, listen, today we gonna have a conversation about a topic, and it's something that we've talked about numerous times or several times. And now as we are being prepared to launch some of the stuff that we'll be doing, such as the marriage retreats and you know what I'm saying, the men's and women conferences and things of that nature. This is definitely important concerning those areas and those things that you know what I'm saying we'll be discussing. And so right now, man, the thing we're going to talk about is the importance of community. I know when I was younger, especially in black families, man, we had that mindset that what goes on in this house stays in this house. That was your mind, that was your people. That's what they said too.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't ever remember hearing that. But maybe it was just it was one of those unwritten or unspoken
things where you
things
just knew.
we just knew.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
To not run our mouth about what was happening at home.
Yeah, bet.
But I don't ever remember it being something that was like drilled into us.
And I ain't gonna necessarily say drilled. And to your point, maybe it was something where, but I heard it a couple of times. But it was
outside of your house.
Well, inside the house as well. Like
okay.
you know what I'm saying. Like it wasn't necessary to bring whatever issues we were facing as a family or whatever things we were looking to kind of figure out as a family outside of the family home. Now, granted, there was this sense of community because of the size of my family. You know what I'm saying? I had a real big family, so it would be impossible not to have a sense of community. But I don't ever remember us sitting down and having like family meetings with a collective group of people, you know what I'm saying, to discuss or address an issue that was potentially, you know what I'm saying, going on within the house or whatever.
So I think your situation was different because we didn't have my family was always somewhere else. We were always away from our family, so there was no running and telling somebody outside the household what was going on because we didn't live near them. So we wouldn't have told like our friends.
Yeah, because I was about to say y'all wasn't around y'all relatives, but
we weren't around our relatives.
Yeah, but y'all had
family. We had family, but we didn't have our relatives. And you know, I don't know how much, you know, my parents may have told their friends, but we just didn't do that.
Yeah, but and the reason I think that, you know what I'm saying, that's something, and again, you can't tell everything to everybody. Right. You know what I'm saying? You can't just get a bullhorn or have a news broadcast and tell everybody about the stuff that's going on in your home. I don't think that's wise because everybody, you know, doesn't have the same intent when it comes to what it is that they desire for your particular family. But I do feel like it definitely, or it is a great benefit to have people in your life, or, you know what I'm saying, to have community in your life where you can sit down and have certain conversations with people, especially as a married couple, and especially if you're a younger couple and you know what I'm saying, just got to a point where you're starting out with your marriage, or even just now having kids or entering into parenting and things of that nature. Because I know I did hear one thing in the past that it takes a village to raise the kids type situation. So that was always in place, but that wasn't necessarily the mindset concerning relationships. And I think that that actual existence of not having a community of people around concerning those things or those challenges that you would face in your relationship as a husband and wife may not have been the best course of action. I know now, current day, as the space that we're in, as God has led us to be, it's like we have individuals that we do life with. You know what I'm saying? We have the ability, like I have my brothers, and if I'm going through something and there's something that I want to bounce off of them, it's easy for me to pick up the phone and call them and have a conversation with them and get some wise biblical counsel, rather than me being in a situation where I'm out here just on my own trying to figure this thing out, and I'm only seeing it from my perspective.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I have a few people that, and I think it's harder for me, because I think that just by nature I'm more private. I'm more of a when I have something going on, it's hard for me to talk to someone about whatever that thing is.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'm learning that I do have people that I could reach out to. I just have to learn to do it. There are people that if I were to call, like I know, there are people that if I needed to, I could call.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's just I have to learn to do that.
Now let me ask you, do you feel like, because I know we were talking a couple of days ago, and that was something that we said early on in our marriage, there were a lot of things that we kind of learned the hard way as we were growing and as we were maturing. Do you feel like if we would have had a couple that was older than us, or a couple that we can sit down with and have certain conversations with, do you feel like that would have been of any benefit?
Absolutely. I think that if we had a couple that was mature, and grounded in a good church home, and they were following the right principles, I think if we had someone that could listen and just really give sound advice, I think that would have been very beneficial.
Yeah,
because I think that when I was off having a fit or a tantrum, if I could have had someone to listen, and so when I'm done, say you done falling out, well,
yeah, for real.
With love, you're wrong, and you're gonna have to, and I think that would have been very beneficial, because instead of me having my tantrum and then it just sits. Now we're not talking about it anymore, but it's still sitting, and then you create bad habits, and you carry them.
Yeah, for real.
If I'd had someone to say, yeah, you're not gonna do that, then someone that I could trust,
that
I knew had our best interest at heart, then I don't think I would have carried bad habits as long as I did.
Yeah,
and I don't think that I would have. And I think too, just like a couple weeks ago, I had to tell Jordan some of the things I know I told him, for instance, were not sound and weren't the right thing, because I didn't know they weren't the right thing. It just, if someone does this and you do this, but that wasn't what I should have been telling them. But there was no one to tell me that that's wrong.
Yeah, definitely. And my bad, I'm sorry.
No,
you were finished.
Yeah,
I mean, because and the thing about it is that's definitely something where, because I know for myself as well, and it wasn't like we didn't have men or women in our lives that we couldn't talk to with regards to certain things, but I just don't know. I think there would have been certain biases, you know what I'm saying, because of the nature of those relationships. Like if I go to somebody that was in my family and they love me, they may not be as upfront with me concerning the things that I need to change or the things that I need to address. So if I'm venting or if I'm having a rant and I'm just going off, it's like maybe in their effort to console me, it's like, hold on, you know what I'm saying, instead of giving me some type of sound advice. But I know just the men throughout the years that God has allowed me to come into contact with and develop relationships with, those men were of great benefit. But what's crazy is something as of late and something as of recent that we've been talking about is just having marriage mentors. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like having a marriage mentor, because people talk about mentorship for your jobs and you know career growth and just personal growth and things of that nature, school and all of that stuff. But you know what I'm saying, I don't believe that there are certain conversations that are being had early on within marriages. And I think when those circumstances kind of come to play, the individuals have not been given the tools or the resources or the things that they need to be able to sit down and have a certain conversation and do so in a way where it's healthy, because you're going to disagree. You know what I'm saying? Like it's no way in the world you're going to stay married for an extended period of time and you and your person are not going to disagree.
Absolutely.
It's unrealistic to think that would be the case.
You're two different people.
Yeah, you're two. So you're merging your lives. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the word tells us the two become one flesh. So it's like as the two of you are becoming one flesh, there are certain things that need to be discussed in a very intentional way so that they don't get to a place where they're imploding in your marriage and now creating more, you know what I'm saying, issues and whatnot. But I know because I just finished taking this and I found it interesting. You know, I just finished taking that premarital and marital class, and some of the information that was disseminated in that class, it was kind of eye-opening, and it was like, man, we wrestled with this, man, we had an issue with this, man, I know us personally, when we first got married, we didn't do like any premarital counseling, or we didn't sit down with anyone to kind of alert us to those things that would be coming into play, and we definitely didn't have, in my opinion, a community in place where we would have been able to receive sound advice concerning what it is that we should be doing as a husband and a wife.
I think honestly we would have gotten bad counsel.
Probably so.
I think
it wouldn't have been intentional.
No. It wouldn't have been intentional. But I think that it would have been very worldly advice.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think it would have been a lot of, well, you don't have to put up with that, and you know, all these kinds of things. The things that we were on the beginning of social media.
Yeah, definitely.
So we got a chance to see it happen. We would have gotten a lot of what's being said now on social media. We would have gotten that in person.
Yeah, in person.
And it is trash. It is. It's
not the best.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
It's just not the best.
It's trash.
It's
just garbage.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. All right, we'll go from there. Yeah, so that's what it is. Yeah.
It is.
I mean,
because you don't. You know, the things that men are telling men and the things that women are telling women is trash.
Yeah, it is, but I think it is definitely trash. And you know what I'm saying? But I also think it's because those individuals may not have any insight either with regards to what it is that they're supposed to do as a woman or as a man. Because just like we've discussed before, my idea of manhood and my idea of what being a man was at one point in my life is completely different than what it is now. Like, I no longer have that same set of values or ideologies or beliefs or anything else. But it was because a lot of, like you said, the advice or the stuff that I was paying attention to was more worldly than it was, you know what I'm saying, biblical in any way, shape, or form. And the thing about it is, like, I don't think I would have resisted that information early on. I think I would have been open to receive, you know what I'm saying? Even in my days of being hard-headed and in my days of, you know what I'm saying, just being who I was as a young man, I don't think I would have not received that information and applied it and put it into practice in a decent way.
But I also think that we had the advantage of not having so much noise. Like they have now.
Yeah.
We didn't have all the distractions. We didn't have all of the TikTok and the social media as far as like Instagram and Facebook and this and that, and just these large amounts of, you know, people being able to reach us and say, and I think, you know, you said that you didn't know what it was to be a man, and that's fine. I didn't know what it was to be a woman. We were children, but that's not the struggle now. I don't think the struggle is men don't know how to be men and women don't know how to be women. I think the struggle is men hate women and women hate men. They're not fighting with, well, I don't know how to be a husband or I don't know how to be a wife. They're fighting with, well, I'm over here perfect and you women aren't doing, and women are this and women are that, or men aren't doing and men are, and it's like we were looking at ourselves and saying, I don't know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing that now. Now they're saying, I am perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I come to the table with, I make this much money and I drive this kind of car and I have this much money in my bank account and I have this and I have that and I do and I do and I do. You are the one that is lacking.
To improve, yeah.
You know, so I think it's completely different.
And as you say that, you know what I'm saying, we're talking about community, and as I was listening to you, it made me think that you need to be a part of a healthy community.
A healthy community.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can be a part of a community that, you know, is highlighting and projecting and glorifying all of the wrong stuff. And that won't be of any benefit to your growth or your development. So as you were saying that, it was like, yeah, some people are involved in, you know, communal type relationships, but what's being projected and what's being echoed and what's being, you know, highlighted, is that something that's of benefit? I know because we just sat down last night when we went out with Greg and Keisha, and we were talking about the way marriages are viewed now in comparison to what they used to be viewed as, and even just how secularized marriages have become, and they're viewed as more of a contractual thing than they are as a covenant. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because
it's a business.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like there's like people are coming into marriages, and you know what I'm saying, and the vows are very clear. And I've even seen certain videos where certain women is like they've changed the vows and they're like, no, I'm not saying that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, but the union that you are entering into is a covenant. You know what I'm saying? So covenants are not intended to be broken. You know, covenants are not.
But in fairness, I think, because I'm learning now, there are so many words in the Bible that we are looking at them from, you know, the English dictionary.
Yeah, from Western culture and civilization. Yeah.
So when I see certain words, it's like, ooh, that word is kind of ooh, you know. But then that's not what the word means.
Yeah, definitely.
Biblically.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of times these vows are being changed, or women are sensitive about certain words because we are hearing them from the Webster dictionary.
Yeah, I bet.
And so when I went Webster's dictionary, so when I'm hearing certain words, it might make me a little bit like submission. Well, I'm not gonna like submission.
I mean, you
like I never had a problem with that one because I think I always knew what that meant and what that looked like. But just like with obey, I think people take it so literally. Yeah. Like, you know, if you and it's crazy because it's like, well, I'm taking obey out. For me, that's not even the big issue. If you are standing there with someone that you need to take obey out, then you probably shouldn't be standing up there with that person. Definitely, so now, like, because I wasn't worried about saying obey. Okay, because I wasn't standing there with you thinking, I'm about to turn into a, you know, this is gonna be crazy. It just wasn't a thing. But I think a lot of times when you start changing things, you're also taking the beauty out of something, and you don't even realize it.
I mean, and again, that's why I feel like, and to your point, that's why I feel like the community aspect is so important. Because before you enter in, you know what I'm saying, to these particular relationships, or before you proceed to get into a place of becoming married and husband and wife and whatnot, and even after you're married, I think if you're sitting down and you're in a community with individuals who can offer you sound biblical advice and who can offer you sound biblical counsel, I think some of those things that people wrestle with present day would be alleviated.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because again, like even how the Bible tells us not to forsake the gathering, as some have done, a part of that reason is because, you know what I'm saying, Satan will every now and then deposit some lie or some, you know, he's the father of lies. So he'll deposit some lie into your thought process, or he'll have your paradigm shift in a way where it's not accurate, and the vantage point that you have is not even, you know what I'm saying, in alignment with what's currently going on in your life. So if you're in isolation and you're not around anyone else to run that idea past, or to tell them, hey, this is what I'm feeling, or hey, this is what I'm going through, or hey, this is what I'm thinking about, now you don't have to worry about or Satan doesn't have to worry about anybody being present to correct you, to have you look at, you know what I'm saying? No, that's not what it is. Because I know there have been several conversations that I've had with my brothers, and I'm looking at it from one perspective, and they'll, in a very loving and gentle way, say, well, have you thought about this? And when they offer me something else to consider, or when they offer me something else to kind of like, you know, kind of like just highlight or think about, it's like, okay, yeah, man, I didn't look at it from that perspective. That could absolutely be correct. That could absolutely be right. So I think having community is essential in, you know what I'm saying, the growth and the development of a husband and a wife as a couple, but just even as followers of Christ. Because now you get into a space where you begin to understand that the reason that God created marriage was to serve as an earthly illustration of the relationship between Christ and the church. So if you have that mindset where it says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church, if you have that mindset, you know and understand what's being asked of you, or what's being directed of you by God's word. You know what I'm saying? And when it says, wives, submit to your husbands, and wives, respect your own husbands, and things of that nature, if you're in a community where you have individuals who are offering wise and sound biblical counsel, when you have a space or a time or a season where, you know what I'm saying, those things are a little bit difficult to deal with, or they're a bit hard to swallow, you can have somebody in a very loving way say, well, man, let's talk about it, and let's talk about the reasoning for why this is. You know what I'm saying? So, but now, in your opinion, I want to ask you, and I know we've kind of talked about it kind of in a wide range of ways, but from your perspective, what do you feel like would be the main benefit of having community present for your marriage, for your growth and development as a follower of Christ, for your family, like all of those things? What do you feel like would be a major advantage of having that community in place if we would have had it early on?
Wow. I think if we had had it early on, I think like I said, the benefit would have been to have someone there for guidance and to be able to say, I think the biggest thing the thing I needed most was someone to say, you are wrong. You're wrong.
Well, and not somebody to hold you accountable and help you see things from a...
Yeah, but in that, you're...
So you needed them to tell you you was wrong? I don't know if they'd have told you you was wrong when you was young.
I think if there had been someone...
that you trusted.
When I was younger, I think it would have been hard.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if there had been 20-something-year-old Lashawn, they said, girl, you're wrong. Because you're a great debater. Yeah, you debate very well.
I feel like, though, if it was someone that I really trusted, and that I know loved me, and they would have said, okay, you're wrong in this. I think it would have been hard for me. And I probably would have been like, well, no, I'm not wrong. But then someone who loved me would have said, well, yeah, you are. And then from there, for me to listen, because although I debate, I listen very well.
Yeah, you do.
I'm going to hear you out. I'm going to listen. Because if I'm wrong, I want to fix it. I've always wanted to fix it if I was wrong. But I think it would have been a great benefit to have someone say that and then do what I needed to do to fix it, instead of, like I said, just carrying it and doing it over and over again and having the same argument or the same, heartbreak or the same heartburn for something that if I had just known it was wrong, I could have done what I need to do to fix it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think what community does is it arms you with the tools and the resources that you need to be able to face difficult times in life and in your particular situation or marriage. I think if you have certain conversations early on, and I think because for some reason when people are getting married, it's like they're so focused on the wedding, they're so focused on the actual date that nobody is thinking about those things that are sustaining factors for a marriage, like finances. Finances is a big one. Positive conflict resolution. How do you view marriage? The role of a husband and the role of a wife. the family dynamic that you come from. Like all of these things are extremely important, and I think would add great value to an individual or to a couple that is getting ready to enter into marriage, or that's, you know what I'm saying, in a new marriage, or even if you know what I'm saying, you've been married for quite some time. Because I don't think just because you've been married for a certain number of years that makes you an expert on marriage.
Absolutely.
I think you still have room to grow, and I think you still have room to mature and develop, and I think it should be an ongoing process. So I'm not going to that point, but it's like, I think that's a beautiful thing to come together in community and have conversations with your brothers and your sisters about certain dynamics that you may be wrestling with, or certain things that you may be going through.
And I think too, when you find out that you're not alone in it, it makes the blow a little less piercing.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, you're sitting in a group of people, a group of believers, a group of followers, and you are having a conversation about marriage and or raising children, or your parents, or whatever it is that you're having a conversation about. And for someone then to say, oh yeah, we went through that, this is what happened, and not even going into great detail, but just to let you know that, oh yeah, you're not by yourself in that. Then I think that makes a difference. A couple weeks ago I was watching, you know, I'm always watching weddings, always, and I was watching this wedding, and they're celebrities, and the vows were in good times and good times, in health and health, in more money and more money.
That's what they said.
And I thought to myself, like, so that's what you, and you're, okay, so in fairness, you heard me say, I'm only in this for the good.
Yeah, bet.
You heard me say it. Everybody heard me say it.
Yeah, for real.
The preacher, the bishop, the whoever it is that married you, they heard me say it. Your mama, she heard me say it.
Yeah, for real.
I never said if you get sick I was gonna stay.
Yeah.
That's not what I said. I never said it if financially something happens. I didn't say I was gonna stay. I didn't. What you heard me say was,
it gotta be all good all the time.
It has to be good all the time. And I was just like, you know, and everybody kind of laughed, and I know they meant it lightheartedly.
Yeah, definitely.
I know it wasn't, you know, with malice, but when they were, I was just like, ooh. Because when real life sets in.
Exactly, because that's an unrealistic vantage point to have. You like to think that you won't ever face any challenges in your marriage or any challenges in your relationships.
In your life,
man, that's setting yourself up for failure. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's why, you know, even Christ told his disciples, you know what I'm saying, that in this world you will have trouble, but not to, you know what I'm saying, lose heart, because he's overcome the world. You know what I'm saying? So our faith and our confidence and our trust and our assuredness should always be in Christ first and foremost when it comes to any dynamic. And there's nothing wrong with being optimistic. There's nothing wrong with having a positive outlook or anything of that nature, but that there needs to be a level of, you know what I'm saying, like realistic ideologies that are in place. To think that me and you have been together 20 plus years, and we've, like, the things that we faced just concerning our health at certain points in times has been extreme. Like, and it hasn't been for the faint of heart. Like the way that we've had to take care of one another in whatever particular moment. But then that's also something where community is vital, because all glory to God, we did have people around us where if the kids needed to, you know what I'm saying, just be in place for a minute while we did whatever with one another or took care of one another, we had that option, or we had that thing in place. So like it's not just for the benefit of, you know what I'm saying, giving you wise counsel and sound advice, but also for being available in your life.
But it's funny because your community is in good times and bad times, in sickness and in health.
Yeah, for real.
Your community is there, you know, so like, because like you said, our community has been there. Like, we have had some, like when we met, it was like you're two young healthy people, and you know, we didn't have, you know, all the muscles were in the places where they're supposed to be. Everything
used to be fine, boy.
You look better now, but that's
because I'm fat.
You're not fat.
Oh, go ahead. You go ahead.
Everything was, you know, sitting up where it was supposed to sit up, and that was great. You know, but and I'm pretty sure that neither one of us ever thought, boy, in 5 years, in 7 years, and 10 years, or whatever, you're gonna have to pray that I even come out the surgery.
For real, man.
So I think that community is important to. I think it's very important to have people around you that hold you accountable and support you and carry you and love you and are honest with you.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't want yes people.
Nah, no.
I don't want people who will amen my bad behavior. I don't want people who will see me having a tantrum and just be like,
yeah, that's just who she is.
That's just who she is.
Yeah, you want somebody that's going to speak up and say something.
Yeah,
Yeah, for real.
But, I want someone who's going to be like, you sound absolutely crazy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and just being honest and looking back over, just the life that we've had together, it's definitely been a beautiful thing what God has done, even when we didn't realize what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like the things that he was putting into place for us without unbeknownst to us, because we didn't even, I don't think when we were younger, we recognized the value of the things that we recognize now. You know what I'm saying? We didn't recognize the value in those things the same way that we do now. And I think just to have that be a part of your life and people doing life with you, where that's the aim, that's the goal. Like because the Bible tells us to share one another's burdens. You know what I'm saying? But we're also to celebrate with one another. You know what I'm saying? Like that means that's exactly what we're supposed to do. I know when I went through the discipleship process, through a discipleship program with my brothers, the one thing that God allowed me to understand and learn throughout that season is it's difficult to experience any intimacy of fellowship with God in isolation. So how people will be like, oh, I'm going to go off to find myself, or I'm going to go off to, and there's nothing wrong with periods of isolation, and there's nothing wring with periods of quietness so you can get still and hear from God. Yeah, exactly. But that doesn't mean that that's supposed to be the entire existence of your life. That's not, you know what I'm saying, what you should strive for. That's not what you should be working towards. You should work towards having people in your life that you do life with. So when you're doing life with these individuals, you know what I'm saying, you can be there to bear one another's burdens. You can be there to celebrate one another, but you are also there to encourage one another and hold each other accountable and lift one another up when there's a difficult time in place, or just if someone does become sick, or if something's going on with the kids, now we all can come together to address whatever situation is in place. So man, I think community is extremely important, but I think this will be a great point to stick a pin in it, and you know what I'm saying, kind of stop at this point. We've been going for a few minutes. We're trying to be respectful of people's time. We don't want to just, you know what I'm saying, have them locked in all day. So man, again, as we prepare to depart, man, it's one of those things where we feel like having a community around you, a healthy community, because as LaShawna said, it's like you can be in a community, but it could be one where it's detrimental to where it is that you're trying to get, or detrimental to what it is that God is trying to lead you to. So to be a part of a healthy community and have a healthy dynamic as it relates to the people that you're doing life with is extremely important, man. There's no such thing as, experiencing intimacy in isolation, and there's no such thing as you being able to, you know what I'm saying, be a recluse and still have the ability to grow and, you know what I'm saying, develop and become who it is that God intended and desired you to be. And lastly, not to mention the gifts and the talents that God has blessed you with. You know what I'm saying? Those things are not for you to hold on to. That's for the community. That's for the people that you do life with. That's for the body of believers. So community is just one of those things, man, where when you look at it biblically, it's definitely something that you're allowed to experience the intimacy of God in a more intense way when you're fellowshipping with other individuals and doing life with other individuals, man. So that's my 2 cents. But with that being said, you got anything else you wanted to add?
We covered everything.
Yeah, so man, we alluded to it a little bit earlier in the video, and you know what I'm saying, just to kind of alert everyone and give them a heads up. So myself and the wife will You know what I'm saying? We're in the process of organizing some marriage retreats, and we're also in the process of organizing some men and women retreats, so we can sit down and have that community situation in place for individuals to be able to come together and you know what I'm saying, talk about some of the things that they've experienced, talk about maybe some of the challenges that they've faced, and then receive wise and biblical counsel, you know what I'm saying, moving forward. Some time ago, God gave us a vision concerning the importance of the family unit and the family dynamic. I feel like if you have healthy families and you have healthy men and healthy women, healthy children, not just from a physical standpoint, but from an emotional and a spiritual standpoint as well, I feel like that will do a lot to combat the things that we come into contact with from the enemy on a day-to-day basis, man. So it's hard for the enemy to be successful and infiltrate what it is that God is desiring to do in the world as far as the spread of the kingdom agenda. When you have a group of solid, mature followers of Christ who are collectively doing life together and coming together, man. So stay tuned for that. We'll definitely be putting out more information as it relates to those retreats and everything else that God is leading us to work towards, man. So sure you ain't got nothing else to say?
Awesome.
That's what's up, man. So listen, it's great, you know what I'm saying, being able to sit down once again and catch up with you all. If you haven't done so already, we humbly encourage you to hit the subscribe button, so you know what I'm saying, as well as turn on your notifications, so when we're dropping new content, you'll be alerted to the fact that we've put out a new video, and sit down and sharing these conversations with us, man. Again, we're just in a place where we're desiring to share with everyone those things that God has allowed us to experience and understand and grow and learn throughout the course of our marriage. And you know what I'm saying, in the process, we're still learning as well. You know what I'm saying? It's not something where we feel like we know it all or we understand everything, because we're still in the process of learning. We're still in the process of growing. I feel like you grow and you develop until you leave away from this earth. So man, that's it. That's all I got, man. So you good?
I'm good.
Sure? All right, that's it then. Okay. Say, man, listen, thank you all for sitting down, spending time with us. Once again, this is Dialogue with the Davises. You all have a blessed remainder of the day, man. Peace.